Hi, hello there. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are setting up my reading journal for the month of December. And first I'm just going to show you some of the items that I'm planning to use today, though I did not use these stickers that I'll show in a moment from Paper Minty Studios. I am going to use two stamp sets from PaperPerson shop, and I did just show the names of those on screen. And these papers that I'm showing are actual printable papers that I got from Etsy, and I will link those below if you're interested in them as well. After I finish going through these items, I will do a quick flip through of where I'm at in my November spreads. So this month for December, instead of going all out like Christmas, holiday, whatever, I really wanted to do like a cozy winter vibe. So I'm using, I think it's Warm Knits is what these printable papers were called. And I am also using the same type of setup that I did back in September, where I've got a bunch of waterfall tabs for each section. So I'm using the kind of knitted looking balls and then the regular like knitted fabric yarn stuff. So I did most of my other waterfall tabs off camera, but I did want to show you how I was putting them together. So that's what I just did. And I actually printed these papers on sticker paper so that I wouldn't have to worry about adhesive. I would just have to worry about making sure everything's lined up before I place it down. And I found it to be quite easier than using cardstock. Just personal preference, I would guess. But if you are downloading printable paper and doing waterfall tabs like this, I definitely enjoyed using the sticker paper more than using cardstock or pattern paper or something like that. Once I had all of my waterfall tabs done, I kind of felt like because the images were so close in color that they blended into each other on each of the waterfall tabs. So I decided to take my inky black ink pad from Studio Calico and just kind of rub it along the edges of each of these images, just to kind of create a little bit of separation between the images. I did this first one on camera, and then the other four I did off camera, but in the end, it definitely helped kind of separate those images and make it more noticeable that they were separate pages. I am going to use this border on each page in this setup, and then I'm going to use kind of my standard calendar template that I use each month to mark off if I've read that day and if I finished a book that day. And then I am going to be using these stickers that I made for my headers for all of this month. So I used the font RoughTyperwriter that I didn't purchase. I downloaded from defont.com. And I typed it out in Cricut and then added a outline to it, an offset, and then printed those out on clear sticker paper. And I'm going to be using each of those for my headers this month. Down towards the bottom of this page, instead of doing a quote like I did in September, I'm going to be using the Fall Fiction stamp set from PaperPerson shop. So I'm going to stamp this little bookshelf on one side, and then on the other side I'll be stamping the number of books to read before the year ends. I believe to meet my goal I only have 11 left at this point in time. And then above that I'm going to stamp Cozy Up with a Good Book. So the last thing that I will be doing on this page is just adding a couple decorative stickers. This little coffee hot chocolate cup and candles is part of a digital sticker set that I put together using licensed clip art. And I will actually be having that available on Etsy here shortly. And then I believe on this page that I'm working on now, I add some snowflakes, some black snowflakes, and I got those from Cricut Design Space. But the coffee cup slash hot chocolate cup and candles and the kind of like garland banner are two stickers that would be available in that digital sticker set as well. So on this page, I am actually going to change the name of my To Be Read page, and I changed it to Hopeful Reads. And like I said, I'm using that same header that I'm using throughout the rest of the month. And then I'm going to use my method and time tracker as well. So for the month of December, I basically just went on Kindle Unlimited and searched for any type of Christmas slash holiday slash winter themed rom-coms. And I downloaded all of them. And those are the ones that I have listed here in my Hopeful Reads. I didn't read any reviews. I didn't look for any recommendations. I just kind of picked the ones that looked like something I would be interested in. And on here, I'm going to add Jingle Wars, The Mistletoe Bet, 'Tis the Season for Revenge, Deck the Headlines, and Sleigh Ride or Die. And that's all I have so far. But like I said, I have 11 books I need to read this month. So I'm probably going to be adding some more. And then under my time, I am using the reading tracker stamp set from PaperPerson shop. And I'm just using that stack of books, and I'm going to use those to color in how long I read for each day. And that is the same that I did for my August reading journal setup as well. And I really, really loved the way that time tracker looked at the end of the month, so I wanted to revisit and do that again. Moving on to the next page, this is going to be my new words and favorite book spread. I don't know why, but these two spreads are always my favorite. Every single month, they just always end up being my two most favorite spreads. So my new word spread is going to be very simple, and so is the favorite book spread. I will use the garland sticker and basically just kind of highlight every other line in the background after I add the sticker. I should have done the highlighting first, but here we are. And then for the new words, I know I've said this in the past, but I do like to leave this spread pretty blank just because I don't know how many words I'm not going to know when I'm reading a book. And when I do find new words, I do like to write them down. So I just add a gray line, 2 gray lines at the very left side of the new words column. And then probably the next day after I filmed this, I decided to also add 2 lines at the very bottom as well on the new words spread. But that was kind of a spur of the moment decision, so it's not going to be in this video at all. But essentially it's going to look just like these two, just the 2 on the bottom. And then so when I printed out this hot chocolate mug and candles, I printed it in 2 different sizes. So I used the larger version to put in the corner of my new words page. And that's it for those 2 spreads. So these next 2 spreads are going to be my stats and totals pages. These 2 I don't feel like ever really change too much when I'm setting up my reading journal. I'm not mad at it because they work really well for me, but I do like kind of adding stickers and colors to make them match my current theme, if you will. Last month I did make this chart a little bit bigger, and I am keeping with that. I did like the extra space that it took up, and it definitely makes the page feel more used. So once I get all of my lines drawn, I am going to add my headers, For my totals page, I am going to do the same thing that I did on my favorite book spread, where I highlight every other line in the background, and then I will add another garland to the bottom of this one and stamp all of my totals that I track. And then for my stats page, I'll add a small hot chocolate / coffee sticker to the top next to stats. And then I'm going to highlight every other rectangle underneath the stats that I keep. So after I get these boxes highlighted, the last thing that I am going to work on is getting my totals that I'll be tracking for the month stamped. And I track the same thing every month, the amount of books I've read, the amount of pages I've read, the average time it takes me to read each book, how many different genres I read, and then how many physical, digital, and audio books I read of each type of book. So I'm going to get those stamped, and then that is it. That's all I've got for my December setup. If you've made it to the end of this video, leave me a comment below with your favorite thing to do in December. I personally just like hanging around and just being cozy. Hence the theme of my winter coziness. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, and I will go ahead and show you a final flip through. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Bye.